Hi everyone. In today's video, I want to talk about the reason why so many businesses being run by African people or black people do not make profits. And I would like to start by telling you a story. You see, June 4th, 1896 was the first day Henry Ford was able to figure out how to make an automobile. Early in the morning, maybe like 6 a.m., this young guy, who was 32 then, was able to build an entire automobile all by himself. From there, the guy was trying to start a company. He started his first company in 1899. That one failed. He started again in November of 1901. That one failed. Before he started a third company in 1903, which existed today. Now, this is where I'm going with this story. The objective of Henry Ford, right from the beginning, was to get automobile into the hands of every American who can possibly drive a car. So the meaning of that is, year after year, Henry Ford was cutting his prices. He was cutting his prices. For example, the first Model T was sold for probably $800 plus. Several years later, maybe 7 years later, the same vehicle was being sold maybe for $300 and something dollars. So you get the idea. The objective of Henry Ford was to continue cutting the price of automobiles so that a whole lot of people can afford it. This formula worked. For example, this formula worked from 1908 to 1924. Now, after 1924, however, Henry Ford started encountering a whole lot of problems, majorly from the competitors. For example, by 1926, Chevrolet and GM were making their automobiles. Now, the problem for Henry Ford is these new competitors were not concentrating on price cutting. In fact, Chevrolet between 1925 to 1926 actually increased the price of their automobile. And even though they increased the price of their automobile, they sold more vehicles. For example, in 1925, Chevrolet sold about 740,000 cars. The following year, they sold 730,000, even though they increased their prices. Now, by 1927, Henry Ford had found himself in a very, very, very difficult problem. His cost of production was like permanent. Why? He can no longer cut the prices of his automobile. Worse still, all these new competitors are already coming to the market to take market share from him, and if he was not able to sell huge quantity, there was no way he could continue running the business because he would be running at loss. So in 1927, Henry Ford had to shut down his factory for entire 6 months to rebuild everything from the scratch, and of course that cost him several billions of naira in today's money. From there, Ford stopped thinking in terms of cutting prices. Instead, he stopped thinking in terms of giving the consumer what they want and what they will appreciate and what they are willing to pay for. Now, this is an important lesson for you if you are a small business owner like me. The worst strategy, which is also the most common strategy any entrepreneur can embark on when starting a business, is I'm going to sell you the cheapest of this paper. I am going to sell you the cheapest price of everything I'm selling. Now, this is the worst mistake any entrepreneur can make. At the same time, it's the most common mistake, because it's the easiest thing to do. It is just so easy that you start selling anything in the world. You start selling computer, for example, and you advertise to people that, hey, see, I am going to sell you the cheapest computer in the world. You cannot go to any other store and find anything that is cheaper than me. Now, that strategy has three problems. Problem number one is, I'm sorry, there is always somebody who can sell cheaper than you. And you must have experienced it if you're an entrepreneur in the past. You must have experienced it. So let me give you an example. Let's say you are selling apple in Lagos, and you are in Ojota, but you are going to Yanapaja to go and take your apple for whatever reason. Now, when you now get to Ojota or anywhere you are selling your apple from, you announce to people around you that, see, apple is ought to be 100 naira, but I'm going to be selling it for you at 85 naira. The reason why you think from that perspective is that, okay, my cost of getting this apple and transport fare and everything is 80 naira. So if I can sell apple at 85 naira, I am making profit of 5 naira. If I can, because of that, attract a whole lot of people to me, it means I am going to sell a whole lot of apple and I'm going to make a lot of profits as a result. That is the thinking behind cutting price. But you guess what? The first week you start that business, you see people coming to you. The second week people come, the third week. By the time you wake up at the fourth week, you just have to look at your left hand side and you're going to see another person there. This person has figured out that people are rushing to you because of the price, and he felt that, oh, there is a place I can get an apple for 75 naira. If I can go to that place, I'm going to go get apple for 75 naira and I'm going to sell it for 80 naira and I'm going to get all the customer of this guy. So if you really want to engage in the battle of price, there is always somebody who can come to compete with you and come a little lower. So at the end of the day, what happens is you cut the price, somebody else come to cut the price, you come again to cut the price, until all of you get to a point where nobody make profit. I recommend you read this book, 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. He talk about how competition, like bloody competition like this, make entrepreneurs to end up at the point where nobody make profits anymore. Okay, so that is one example. Now, the second reason why competing with price is kind of like a stupid business strategy is that you are not going to have money to run your business. You are not going to have money to, for example, create a better product if you are creating products. You are not going to have money to hire the best talents in the market. So let me give you a practical example of that. Exactly this time last week, I was on phone with one of my employees. This is a new guy I just hired. I hired him in August. Was that in August? I hired him in August. Now, the first duty that I gave him to do, the guy did it so well. So I was like, okay, what if I asked this guy to do something a little bit more difficult than this? So I pushed that to him, and he did this better than anybody I have ever hired for the same duty. And I'm talking about the industry I have been playing for 6 years, 2017 till now. How many years is that? Figure that out. And I was impressed by the work this guy did. So I have to ring him. Oh God, I love what he did. And I wanted to focus on doing this full time for my company. And he was like, okay, no problem, but you are going to pay me X and X amount per month. And I was like, oh, I have never paid anybody to do such work. I have never paid anybody such amount. And we negotiated back, forth. And during this conversation, I was thinking about it. I can easily go out there and hire somebody else to do the same work this guy wants to do at half the amount. But the problem is, I have never met anybody who can do this work the way this guy did it. So I will probably end up hiring one average guy who will do average work, and the audience, the consumer, will get to know immediately that this is average work. So I have to like, okay, yeah, there's no problem. I'm going to pay you the amount you want. Now, guess what? The reason why I am comfortable paying this guy, this quality talent, the amount he wants, so that he can work and contribute with his talent for my company, is that way I have some money to pay him. So the second problem you have when your goal is to compete with price is that you won't be able to hire quality people. And so you can see that. Go to Walmart, go to an average restaurant, and you see like where they can only hire average people because they don't have money to pay them. Now, the third reason why, competing or fighting with price is not so smart as an entrepreneur is that where that other guy, that other competitor who is able to figure out how to charge the market a good price, we end up making a whole lot of money. And because he makes a whole lot of money, he will be able to hire the best of the best people in the market. Now, by the time you are competing with somebody who is not competing with price and is able to hire the best mind around, it is just a matter of time before you have no business. Okay, so these are 3 reasons why starting a business with the objective of, hey, I'm going to just start selling X and Y, and I'm just going to sell at cheapest price ever. The reason why that does not make sense is because, now running a business is very expensive. You have to make a lot of money. If you don't make a lot of money, you can't run a business. You can't hire the best talent. You can't, you'll be out of business tomorrow morning. Now, the question you might want to ask me is, okay, but how can I have a business? How can I run a business as an entrepreneur that does not depend on price, that does not compete with price? Let me give you a very simple warning. What I'm about to describe is difficult. A whole lot of people will not do it because they don't have capacity to do it. So this is the answer. Never, ever, ever start a commodity business. Let me give you an example of commodity business. A few months ago, maybe 3, 4, 5 months ago, somebody in my family called me, a woman in my family called me and said, I want to start a POS business. If you are in Nigeria, you know what they call POS business. If you are not in Nigeria, it's just like, instead of people to go to ATM, we have this POS machine that you can go with your card, then they will give you money and they will take commission from the money. So this woman called me, in my little village, there is nobody doing POS business. If you can give me some money, I'm going to start POS business and I'm going to make a lot of money. And I was telling my wife, I said, see, look, this is the game. This woman wants to start POS business now, and she thinks by calculation, since nobody is doing that business, she's going to make a lot of money. But yeah, this is how that game will play. The first week she launched that business, she's going to make a lot of money. The second week, she's going to make a lot of money. The third week, oh Jesus. By the end of third week, all that woman have to do is to look at her right hand side, and she's going to see right there is one guy who was unemployed, and he has figured out that you are making money, and he has come to open his shop right beside you, and there is nothing you want to do. And while you are still angry with this guy, the following week there is another lady here, and before you finish being angry with this lady, look at your front and look at your back, and at 7th week, there are 15 people in that village with the same business. The same thing is applicable with, I'm selling bonfita, I'm selling palm oil, I'm selling kerosene, I'm selling anything that an idiot can sell. So, the reason why it is so is because if you are doing anything that anybody can do, you cannot be rewarded for doing it. So, I am selling bonfita, I am selling candies, I'm selling biscuits, I am selling palm oil, I'm selling kerosene, I am selling apple. I want to open POS business where any imbecile can do any of those things. So entrepreneurship is not really a game for dumb people. That is why if you really want to make money as an entrepreneur, you have to be smarter than 99% of the population. Okay? Maybe I should repeat this. If you want to make money as an entrepreneur, you have to be smarter than 99% of the population. Okay? It's the reason why I read books. It's the reason why if you see my former video, if I take you to my library, you see books. You want to be an entrepreneur? You want to be an entrepreneur? You want to be in a business? You can afford to be one of the imbeciles. You can afford to only have capacity that everybody in the world can duplicate. Real businesses, real enterprise that make real money is difficult for 99.9% of the population to do. And that is why nobody competes with you. And of course, I'm not telling you theories. Okay? I built my first successful company in 2016. I run this company like day and night between 2016 to 2021 or 2020. All this entire time, I am not exaggerating, I couldn't remember that I know any single person that we were competing with in my entire country. Now, you will ask why that is possible. Well, it is possible because we were able to build something that is the combination of our insights about how a business is supposed to be built, plus some technology that so many people with some law don't understand. Now, with a few talented individuals, by the time we combine all of this together, we were able to arrive at a unique company that if at all you want to compete with us, oh, I'm sorry. For example, okay, let me give you an example, practical example here. We get our clients from search engine. So if you want to compete with us, for example, it means you have to first and foremost go and understand search engine. Oh Lord Jesus, how easy do you think it is for an average people that we are competing with potentially to understand search engine? Most people don't even know anything called search engine. So because of that, there is a barrier of entrance. So if you want to compete with us now, the first duty is you have to go understand search engine. You have to rank in Google. If you cannot rank in Google, you are not my enemy. So I have worked tirelessly in the last several years to know how to do that. You go do it. You can't do it. It's not what a graduate of A.B.U or Unilag can say, oh, I can do. You can do it. Okay, so that is a barrier. Another barrier is we have this network of partners. If you understand my first business, I don't want to be going into the detail again. We have this partner in 25 states of Nigeria. Go and get that. I challenge you to go and get that. Go and do it and see how easy it is. Okay? Then we have a few talented people. Yeah, you probably will not be able to build that team. So what I'm describing here is different layers of barriers that I was able to build, which if you want to compete with me, it will probably take you 5 years to build. Probably you will never be able to build it, except you are exceptional. So this is the point I'm making. Real enterprise, real businesses that make money, that make a lot of money, they are difficult to duplicate. If your business can be duplicated by one guy who graduated from A.B.U yesterday with first class, you don't have a business. If your business can be duplicated with one guy who graduated with second class upper in the Unilag last month, you don't have a business. It's the reason why, let me repeat it. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to be extremely smart. You have to learn. And it is the completion of this knowledge. Because now you are ranking among the top 0.001% of the population. Then you are able to create something that is unique that most people cannot duplicate. Nobody can duplicate Google. That is why Google really doesn't have competitor. Yes, you can talk about a few people, but Google have 66% of the market. That is monopoly. Okay? Yeah, Pepsi can say they are competing with Coca-Cola, but go and trace the history of Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has been the god, the leader of that market for 130 years. Okay? Real companies are difficult to duplicate. That is why they do not compete with price. Subsequently in this video, I'll be discussing several other things you can do to make your business very, very difficult to duplicate. But the purpose of this video is for you to understand, except your business cannot be easily duplicated, then price is the only weapon you have to fight. And if price is the only weapon you have to fight, you do not have business. You do not have business because that semo filter you decide to be selling for 2,500 naira because you want to sell at the cheapest price, somebody is coming tomorrow to sell it 2,300 naira. And because you are selling that your product so cheap, you don't have profit to hire quality people. And if you don't have profit to hire quality people, well, you hire average people who run your company averagely. I hope this video helps somebody. And I want to recommend a few books. I beg you. Should I open my cap? I beg you. Go read these books. Purple Cow. Okay? Purple Cow. 0 to 1. Purple Cow by Seth Godin. 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. Positioning, The Battle of Mind by, this Oyibo name I don't know. Just Google it. You Google that title, you will see it. Now, these books will help you to understand the concept I'm teaching here. Like, if you wish to read my books, you can check them at the description box. There is one you can download for free. There are other you have to pay for. Because why? Well, you should pay me, shouldn't you? Okay. Thank you.